Hi, my name is Vovik and this is Woodpecker demo. With Woodpecker, you can automatically connect with your prospective clients or business partners. It sends messages for you, just like a smart full-time assistant for lead generation, sales, and recruitment professionals. You ready for it? Let's go! Okay, once you are in Woodpecker, the first thing that you need to do is to connect your mailbox, because Woodpecker uses your original mailbox to send your campaigns. And let's click on Add Email Account and take a look. So I have Google Office 365 and Exchange options, and these are automatic connections. It means that it takes few clicks to connect these specific email providers. But if you want to use any other email provider, you can click on Other IMAP. In my case, I have Google, that's why I'm picking it. And let me show the window that appears. Here's my email. And the next step is simply to grant access for Woodpecker to connect. Let's click on Allow. Yeah, and it takes around 30-60 seconds for Woodpecker to connect to your mailbox. All right, my email address is connected, and the next step is simply my from name. And also I can configure my signature here. Of course, I can configure it later, but I already prepared my HTML code, so let me paste it. And that's how it looks like. Let's click on Save. And also great thing about Woodpecker is that it checks my SPF and DKIM records that are really important for my deliverability. So as you can see, everything is good. We can start creating our campaign. Okay, now you can see the view where a campaign is being created. Here you can name it, you can pick an email address that you want to use to send your emails, add your email copy, add your prospects, your contacts. Let's do it step by step. So the name of my campaign is lead generation, and this name is visible only to me. The next step is to pick an email address, and I have only one, but you can add multiple email addresses and send your multiple campaigns from multiple email addresses, one email address per campaign, of course. So let me pick this one. And let's move to the path. So we can call it sequence, we can call it cadence or a campaign. In Woodpecker, it's called path. And path, that's a sequence of emails or tasks you want to complete. Yeah. So the path can be started from an email, like it is in my case, as you can see. But also, if you click right here, you will be able to add a task. And a task, it's kind of reminder for you to, for example, to call somebody or to send a LinkedIn connect or to send a LinkedIn message. Yeah, it depends on your sales process. In Woodpecker, you can use it simply to get a reminder about that. So I will start from email, and let's move to my email. So check how it looks like. And let's start from subject line and from the A/B test. So here you can see that there is a version A and there is a version B. So if I show you the version B, you will see that my subject line here is different. Why? Because that's an A/B test. So as you can see, I can add more versions of my subject line or of my copy. But in this case, I'm testing the subject line and I want to see which one will perform better. And generally talking about A/B tests, that's a great feature not only to test like parts of your content, yeah, it's also good for deliverability because you don't send a lot of messages with the same subject line, with the same content. The same with snippets. Snippets, you can see them here. These are personalization fields. They are connected with your database and they simply pull the data from your database and personalize individual emails. So as you can see, I'm also using, for example, first name field. It's right here. First name field in my subject line because I want these emails to be different, yeah, because it's good for my open rates and it's good for the deliverability. To add this field, you just pick it right here, yeah. Okay, I will delete it. The same with my content, yeah, I'm using basic personalization such as first name, company name, but as you can see, you have like specific snippets like company, email, website, and so on, but there are non-specific such as snippet 1, snippet 2. So here in your database, you will see it in a minute, you will be able to add any data. If you even want to add the whole sentence and to personalize, for example, your CTA in the end for each prospect, you will be able to do that by using our snippets. Okay, and above you can see we have a basic editor. Of course, you can create maybe your like plain text signature here. You can use bold text and so on. You can also add images, yeah. You can also add or remove links, and that's how it looks like. Also, here's like text to HTML, and you already seen this when I added my signature. Yeah, that's how it looks like. So if you want to use some basic HTML, you can do this. But of course, when you send cold emails on or any type of like business emails, it's better to send it in plain text because first of all, it's a business communication. It's not a newsletter. And secondly is that for your deliverability, it's better to send plain text emails. Okay, so by default, Woodpecker tracks opens. Here you can disable it if you don't want Woodpecker to track it. Yeah. Also, you can track clicks in Woodpecker. For this purpose, you need to add a link or to find a link, in my case, and to click on Insert Added Link option and to enable link tracking. This activity is not recommended because potentially it can decrease your deliverability. If you want to check details, just click on Not Recommended and you will find the detailed article about that. Now let's talk about limits and delivery times. So by default, here we have enroll 50 prospects a day in this campaign. Of course, you can change this limit. You can increase it, for example, to 100 prospects a day. But what you really need to consider is that each email provider has own limit, and that's a really bad situation when you exceed these limits. That's why before you set a limit in Woodpecker, please check your email provider's limits. Let's move on to the delivery times. So in my case, I'm sending my emails on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. Important information. Woodpecker sends emails one by one and not all in the same time. Also, these emails are being sent in the random periods of time and not more than 30 emails per hour by default. That's how Woodpecker imitates human behavior and avoids spam filters. And that's also the reason why Woodpecker has really good deliverability rates. So please remember about that. Also, you can change the sending frequency in settings. We'll talk about this as well. And the next step is to pick a time zone, yeah, of your prospects. Also, there is, let me show you this. Also, there is an option use prospects time zone if available. If in your database you have specific individual time zones of your prospects, you will be able to use this feature, and each one of your prospects will receive messages in the individual time zone. And the next step is to set conditions for my follow-ups. The first one is when my follow-ups are being sent. So here I have, after like 3 days, if I don't receive any response, if I receive a response, of course, Woodpecker stops the sequence automatically. The same with invalid emails, the same with bounces, auto replies, and so on. Woodpecker checks everything and stops the sequence if needed. Of course, I can change it to more days or to, for example, let's say 2 hours. So that's not a problem. I think I will keep 3 days, and let's move on to the next condition, which is if campaigns. So we have the feature which is called if campaigns, and that's a really fantastic feature because based on opens, clicks, or specific information in database, you will be able to send different follow-ups. In this case, I have if a prospect has opened an email more than 3 times, I will send them this follow-up. If it's false for some prospects, they will receive a no path, and this specific email. Let's get back to this condition and let me show what capabilities you have here. So as I already mentioned, you can send different follow-ups based on opens, clicks, and also on specific information or data in your database. So take a look. For example, if a prospect, let me show you one use case. If a prospect has a snippet, and the snippet is, for example, tagged, so if a prospect is tagged, equals to, for example, CEO, and CEOs in this case will receive a different content from those that are not CEOs. So that's a simple use case. You can think about what you can do, but I just want to show you what capabilities you have in Woodpecker. Let's move on, and you can add up to 7 follow-ups in each path no or path yes. As well, you can send those follow-ups in a different thread and as a separate emails. And by default, these follow-ups are being sent within the same thread, so people can see the whole context. Okay, so I think we can move on. And the next step is adding prospects. So you can add your prospects from file, from database, from integrations, and manually. The most popular way to add prospects is to pick them from a file. So, and here's the question: what would you like to do with duplicate contacts? You can ignore the new entry and keep the existing contact intact, or update the existing contact with changed or new fields. So if you want to update already existing prospects in your Woodpecker's database, you pick the second option. Let's say I want to pick and I want to import new database. So I'm picking it on my computer, clicking on upload and import. The next step is simply to map fields in my database. That's basically the first row in my database with the fields in Woodpecker. So I already tried to import this file, that's why Woodpecker remembers about that. I will ignore the column headings and click on import. And as you can see, 0 imported and 25 duplicates. The good news is that Woodpecker checks for duplicates to help you not to send and contact the same people multiple times, if you don't like to do that. That's why I need to get back and to pick those prospects from already existing database. Okay, that's how the database in Woodpecker looks like, and here you can see filters that can help me to find the prospects. And here's my file. I pick 25 prospects and click on add. As you can see, Woodpecker is notifying me that out of 25 selected prospects, 15 have already been contacted, and that's my decision. Do I want to include them in new campaign or not? And 5 are marked as responded. So I want to contact those that have been contacted, but I don't want to contact those that responded, that are marked as blacklisted and bounced. Of course, there's no option even to add them. So, and 15 prospects have been added to my campaign. Here they are. Let's move to the next section, and the next section is summary. So I have 15 prospects, 2 emails in the path yes, 2 emails in the path no. I also have A/B test in my campaign. Before clicking on send, I can preview it, I can save as draft or send test campaign to my own email to check how these emails look like. The great option is preview, because if you click on it, you will be able to check how this this emails will look like with the personalization, and that's for example email for Martin, the next one for John, and the next one for Lindsay. And let's say I want to customize it even more for specific prospect. But in this case, for Lindsay, I can click on option customize and to add, for example, PS, great product, let's say. Yeah, and Lindsay will receive a little bit different content than other prospects, or very different. It depends on you, to tell the truth. So, okay, let's save it. And now I think I'm ready to send my campaign. Let's click on send. And my campaign is running now. Before we move to a specific campaign stats, let me show you how the main view in Woodpecker looks like. We call it list of campaigns. You can also call it main dashboard. That's the place where you can see all your campaigns that are posted, edited, running, stopped, and so on. So there are different statuses for these campaigns. And especially if you have a lot of campaigns, you need to get organized. And there is a great feature that is called folders. It's right here. If I click on it, you will be able to see all the folders that I created. And if I have different campaigns, for example, for different markets, maybe different salespeople running these campaigns, there are different use cases. I recommend organizing them in folders. And if you go to folder, you'll be able to see this campaign. In this case, the folder is empty, but if I have a lot of campaigns, organized in this specific folder, I'll be able to see only them, and separate from all the other campaigns. I hope it's clear. Let's move on to the specific campaign, and here's the one that I want to show you. That's a little bit different campaign because, as you can see, there is a different number of prospects, but the main point is to show you and to explain how stats actually work. All right, so of course here's the option to add more prospects, and also important that if you already started a campaign and you want to add more prospects to already running campaign, that's not a problem. You can use add prospects, and on the go you'll be able to add your prospects. Okay, let's drill down and step by step discuss all the stats. 28 prospects in campaign. Also, there are some invalid email addresses, 7. And the great feature that Woodpecker has, that's a validation system built in. Doesn't matter if you use a basic account, if you do not have add-ons or a lot of slots, you have this feature. That's a free add-on that you have. You don't need to pay for it, and Woodpecker validates emails for you. That's a basic validation process. Woodpecker checks these emails before it sends a message to your prospects. When Woodpecker sees that this specific email address is invalid, it doesn't send any messages, emails, campaigns to such prospects. And that's really cool because that's how we can optimize your deliverability. After this process, validation process, Woodpecker sends emails. Then you might get bounces, and as you probably know, there are different reasons why emails bounce. Because, for example, the recipient's mailbox is full, maybe you have some problems with spam, and so on and so on. Specific reason can be checked when you already received the bounce. Yes, but if your bounce rate is really high, for example, in this case it's 14%. It's not low, but it's quite high. And for example, open rate is low, around 30-20%. It means that you may have some spam issues, right? So the bounce rate should be around 1%, 2%, or the best, of course, 0, right? But 10% and more, that's quite high, and maybe you should check checks, for example, use tools like Mail Tester to check if everything is good with your email, your content, maybe using some spam words that are triggering spam filters. So there are different reasons, but those stats will help you to indicate that. After that, Woodpecker delivers emails, and then you might get opt-outs. When it comes to adding opt-outs, you already seen this in Snippets. Yeah, so you pick an unsubscribe link, and when somebody unsubscribes, of course you get an opt-out, and you will be able to track it right here. Clicks, if the click tracking is enabled, you will be able how many prospects actually click on the link, and open rate. So really important stat for me is open rate and also the respond rate. So respond rate is here, and below we have like smiley faces and maybe not so happy as well. That's interest level. So we do have artificial interest level, and Woodpecker detects interested replies or not interested automatically, but you can also tag them manually as well. In a minute you'll see some interested responses as well. If we scroll down a bit, we'll see detailed stats for the path yes and for the path no. And that's the path yes. We can see an average open rate, respond rate, and so on. And you remember that I've added an A/B test for my fast email in my previous campaign. Here we have an A/B test as well, and I can check even the whole email body. And as you can see, this version already was turned off. Let me turn it on. Let's say you have version B and version A, yeah, or version A and version B. And for example, in version A, you have higher response rate, yeah, and maybe higher open rate, yeah. It's just a test campaign, but let's imagine, yeah. And you decide to keep this version and not to send B version to get optimal results. In this case, you just turn off the version B and you leave the version A. Woodpecker will be sending just version A. So that's how the A/B test works. Really like it, really, and very convenient. Okay, so let's get back. You have also actions here, so you can export all the stats in CSV. If you click on responded, for example, or on any of the stats, you will be able to see details who exactly responded. We scroll down and we see all the responded. If you can see interest level as smiley faces, and here you can see AI, it means that Woodpecker automatically detected if this person is interested or not. Let's check it out. Yeah, we can see this person responded, "Hi Vovik, can you offer a demo?" This person is interested. Yeah, that's really great. And on the right hand, we can see the activity for the path no, for example. Yeah, when the person responded, and so on and so on. If you scroll down, scroll up, excuse me, you'll be able to see filters that you can use to filter like prospects. You can filter only interested, or for example only those prospects that, for example, open your email more than one time, or 1 or 0, yeah. And after that you will be able to pick them all and export them as a CSV. Also here you can see the to check option. So there are different reasons why people can get to check folder or to check tab. And let me start from missing snippet. Of course, when you send a message to somebody with a specific personalization fields, such as first name, and in your database you don't have the name, yeah, this field is empty. Of course, Woodpecker won't send an empty like a message with an empty personalization field. That's why Woodpecker transfers such prospect to check folder. Yeah, and here you will be able to fill in such fields. The next, auto reply. When you get, for example, out of office auto replies, you will be able to reschedule follow-ups for those people. Woodpecker stops the sequence and then gives you an option to pick a date when this person is back at office, and you can resume the follow-ups to such people at that time. Also, when you send and when you add people to different campaigns simultaneously, Woodpecker also notifies you that this person is also in another campaign. Secondary reply, when you receive a response to your email from a different address. For example, when you have a situation that your prospects forwards your message to another person and another person responds. That's why Woodpecker also qualifies such case and also lets you know. And manual, so you can also pose these people manually. When you have tasks to be completed, also here you will be able to complete your tasks as well. Let's move to the inbox, and that's the place where you can track all the responses. Also, you will be able to respond, to forward, or to delete these messages, as well as tag those people as interested, not interested, or maybe later. And the last part, settings. I'm now in my profile tab where I can set my first name, my last name, email, and so on. Also, I can change the password. And great feature is reports, because here I can turn on summary emails and I'll be receiving emails about my Woodpecker activity to my mailbox. Also, here you can download daily, weekly, or monthly reports about general statistics per campaign, number of messages sent from each level in campaigns, and open rate per campaign. The next step is company settings, and here you can add your team members. And the good news is that in Woodpecker, team users or team members are completely for free, so you can add them as many as you want. In safety, you can add domains, for example, of your already existing customers. And for example, if you don't want to contact them accidentally, right, add the domain of your existing customers right here, and Woodpecker will help you to avoid doing that. And interest levels. So by default, our AI-powered interest level is turned on. If you want to turn it off, you can do this right here. Email accounts and really important settings are here. So here you can add your email accounts, as well as you can configure them. So here you can configure your from name, your signature, also configuration part, setting your receiving and sending servers, or also adding your alias if you like to do that. In sending, you can set a global mailbox limit, because the limit that I showed you in campaign is just for campaign and for the opening email. That's important. But here you can set up the limit for the whole mailbox, and for example, if you using the specific email address in different campaigns, yeah, and in each campaign you have follow-ups, you have opening emails. To control this sending volume, the best way to do it, yeah, to set up the global limit right here. By default, that's 500 emails a day. Also, the sending frequency. As I mentioned, Woodpecker sends around 30 emails per hour, but here you will be able to increase the sending frequency. From our experience, the one that you have here is the most optimal, and we recommend to leave it like it is. Of course, you can set a BCC to your CRM, and depending on how the BCC feature works in your CRM, you will be able to, for example, maybe to forward replies or messages or create contacts in your CRM system. And custom tracking domains, that's also an important feature, because We do recommend setting up custom tracking domains for unsubscribes, email opens, and clicks, because by default Woodpecker is doing this using own domains. But if you configure it and you set up your own custom, the deliverability will be much better. Yeah, so please remember about that. And freeze email account. If you're planning the holiday trip, freeze your Woodpecker activity right here. And then we have receiving, and you can block correspondence, and Woodpecker won't be downloading specific emails or threads to Woodpecker's inbox if you block some correspondences right here. And as well, you can decide whether you want to download all emails incoming to this email address, which is connected to Woodpecker, or download only emails connected with the prospect or a campaign in Woodpecker. This second option is chosen by default. And deliverability, I already showed you that Woodpecker checks your SPF in the DKIM. Also, you have it in deliverability tab. And here we can see SPF is good, the DKIM is good. If it's not good, we already prepared a video and also help articles about how you can check this and how you can fix it. Let's move on. The next tab is Marketplace. And here you will be able to add slots. And remember that before you add an email address, you add a slot. Then we have add-ons. And add-ons, these are extra features that you can purchase. So what is really great about Woodpecker billing, that you pay for what you actually use, right? So by default, there's a limit of contacting 50 prospects a day. You can purchase a daily limit of 200 prospects a day and unlimited. Then you have features like A/B tests, if campaigns, and manual tests. They are included in Advanced Campaigns add-on. Then we have API keys and integrations. Agency panel, that's a great solution for lead generation agencies and for lead generation professionals. And email verification or email validation, which is included completely for free. That's when it comes to add-ons. Then we have integrations, and here you can integrate Woodpecker with multiple apps, and we have native integrations, for example, with Pipedrive, Google Sheets, and some prospecting tools, and WordPress as well. Some of them are built in, and some of them are through Zapier or Pysync, such platforms that are great to connect multiple apps between each other. Okay, so that's basically what I wanted to show you when it comes to the marketplace. And then we have billing. And in billing, you will be able to see the history of your payments, to download invoices, to change your billing email, and so on. Thank you for watching Woodpecker demo. If you still have any questions, feel free to get in touch with us. Have a good day. Bye-bye.